Hello friends. So welcome to this Python course. We will go one by one and we will see all the coding aspects. We will learn Python. So we will hold for some time. Let's see if somebody wants to join, and then we will begin in some time. Okay. Let me set up camera somewhere else, maybe here at the top. That would be much better. Okay. Python. Okay. Let me set up camera somewhere else, maybe here at the top. That would be much better. Great. If you have not subscribed, please do subscribe it. And then let's begin the course. We are having 1 minute past. So I had put it up in the schedule and 2:30 was the time. So let's make a new file for today and we will call it Python full course .py. So that's how we can use Python, and we can create Python file using the Python editor py. And here we are going to okay, so there should be some agenda, and let's see here what is the agenda and what are we going to cover here. So let's make it full screen. Yes. Okay, so welcome to the Python live full course, and here in this I am going to tell each and every aspect of Python and how exactly we can go from basic to advanced, from zero to hero. How can we learn all the aspects of Python, including defining commands, variable, functions, classes, method, etc. And then gradually, step by step, we go towards using advanced modules, importing modules, creating libraries, etc. And we will take some projects also for our learning purpose. So let's jump to the next slide and let's see what are we going to cover. So as I said, we will be going from basic to advanced, making it interactive. But I would like to have your comments also, so that if you have any queries, do let me know. We can respond to queries also. And then we will have hands-on practice, projects, and Q&A. So everything is going to be covered. In this agenda, we can see that we will start from commands, printing, and using variables, operators, functions, conditional statement, loops, object-oriented programming concepts, and then go to exception handling, file handling, collections, database handling, packages, and libraries. So all this is going to be there. So let's begin with comments and print statement. Okay. So do we have options to put a comment here? Yes, using a hash you can put your comment. So let's say my name is Mukesh. So my name is Mukesh is a comment. If I want to put I want to make multi-line comment. Okay, so how can I make this comment? Because if I run it now, you would see there is error. It doesn't identify make, etc. So to do that, you can use 3 quotes here and 3 quotes at the end, and it will turn into a comment. See, now it has executed successfully without any error. Same way, we can also make double comments. You can put it like this also, or you can put it in a new line, or you can put it in a new line, doesn't matter. So everything will be considered comment. Another method is to use 3 quotes and put your comments here. Like, this is my comment 1. Program is for learning. So this is our second comment. Let's run it, and you can see there is no error. It's going on successfully without any errors. So this is what we know. Comments. Delete it. Python full course. Now we want to print something. So let's say we want to print my name. So my name is Mukesh. Let's print. Okay, name Mukesh is not defined. Mukesh is not defined because when we are printing it, we have to put it in the quotes. Otherwise, it will consider it variable. Now you can see it is printed. Now it is taking it as a statement instead of considering it variable. So if you put without quotes, you can use it only if it's a variable. Let's try to use single quotes also. So single quotes and double quotes doesn't make any difference. Both work in the same manner. So we can go either with single quote or double quote. Then since we are having difficulty in printing like that, so let's create a variable called name, and name equals to Mukesh. Let's try to do if that works. It won't work. Reason? When you are putting Mukesh like this, it is considering it as a variable as it was considering here. So if you are defining a value, you have to define it like this. But if you are defining a number, then you can define like this without quotes. Here it will work successfully without any error. And let's now print name and print age. I'm willfully making some mistakes so that we know if we make any kind of mistake, what will happen. So to know that, we have make some kind of mistakes also. So like print name age, if you print it, it will consider it as a string and it will just print the name and age, but it won't print the value. So if you try to print the value also plus name, now it will take it as a variable value and age. Here also you will get some mistake, some errors will be there. Now it is saying age is can only concatenate string, not integer. We did not define the type here. Still it considered it as integer. So you can always define it as string. Let's see. Can only concatenate string. If you are defining it as a string, then you have to put it in the quotes also. Then it will consider it as a string. So now you can see name Mukesh is 3. Let's put quotes here so that we can see some kind of gap. So now you can see name Mukesh is 3. But then this has become a string. What we want it as number. Age should be a number. And if it is a number, then we are having difficulty in printing it. So we have to cast it. We have to cast it a string. We have to make it a string. Then only we can print it. Now you can see it is easily able to print Mukesh and Ace both. It can print it. Then okay, the screen is properly visible, I believe. So now we have got how to print, how to define variables. Let's go into next thing in our agenda is okay, concatenation also I have done, right? So we have done the concatenation also. Now let's go to variables. We have already defined two types of variable. One is string, another one is number. Let's define third type, which is boolean. So let's say status is status, and if we want to status as boolean, so how can we make it boolean? Let's say first status equals to true, and let's try to print status also. Print status here, status. So you would see that can only concatenate a string, not boolean. So it has automatically taken it as boolean because true is a predefined keyword. You don't need to, you can't use it as a string. If you want to use it as a string, then, or let's say, see, if I try to define true equals to 5, can we do it? We can't do it because cannot assign to true, because this is already a predefined variable. It's already a reserved value. So reserved value cannot be changed, cannot be defined as variable. Next type is, we have defined integer, we have defined string, we have defined boolean and float. Float is if we want to take something in decimals. So we can take float. So let's say weight. Weight equals to, let's say if someone is 30 years old, then weight could be somewhere 75.8 kg, right? And now let's try to print weight also. So when you are going to print weight also, at that time also you will have to do concatenation, otherwise it won't work again. So string and WEIGST. The good thing is that in this editor you can see I get the suggestion. So whenever a variable is defined, it automatically suggests here to use that variable. And now it says can only concatenate string, not boolean. So we will have to convert it also into string. And now we see that all are printed very correctly, right? Now let's take input from the user. So instead of providing a fixed value, we can also take input from the user. So like name, we can say input, enter your name. So instead of printing a fixed value, we can say enter your name, age, enter your age, and enter your weight. Enter your weight, and status will be true in any case. All the time it will be true only. So it's true. Let's run it. Now you would say it is asking the name. So let's say Krishna is 39 and weight is 69.4, and we can see we can easily print it. Okay, and whatever value we entered, is printed here. Now there are some other data types like list, uh, tuples, etc. So let's try to create those also. So should we keep it or should we clean it? Let's clean it. Okay, and let's go to tuples and list, etc. So print, let's make a list. List is, let's say, fruits. UI fruits equals to, let's put some fruits in this, apple, comma, banana and grapes. So this is a list. If we print fruits, so we can see apple, banana, grapes are printed. We can modify the list also. So fruits dot append, and let's add mango also and print it again. Then only we can see the changes. So mango is also added, however the spelling is incorrect. And now let's remove some of the fruits. So let's remove, which fruit we should remove? Let's remove apple and again print the list. Let's see what happens. Now apple is gone. So this can be easily modified and we can see this list is completely modifiable. Now we have tuples, and when we define list we use this bracket, and when we define tuple, that we define within a small bracket. So the bracket is also aligned with that. So again, let's this time we make the list as, instead of list we make it tuple. Okay, print. See, you can see it has printed. Now if we try to modify it again, let's try to append fruits dot append, or remove. So you can see in suggestion itself append is not at all coming, and if I run it, it says tuple object has no attribute append. Tuple cannot be appended. Remove, let's try to remove. It cannot be removed also. So it is, whatever is defined at once cannot be modified within the program. So this is what we have here. And so this is about tuple. We cannot modify it. Now let's go to the set, and in the sets you can do all the changes. So here also the bracket again changes, set. So now you have to use curly braces and need to close it here, and print fruits, remove apple, etc., and again print fruits. So we will multiple things we will test at once. You can see key error, apple spelling is wrong. So APPLE. Now you can see apple, grapes, banana, and grapes, banana. So we could modify it, but the restriction here is you cannot have duplicate values. So if let's say I have one more banana, then you can see when we are printing it, there is no banana coming again, so it comes only once. Okay, so you cannot have duplicate values. So let's say if I define grapes again here, we cannot have duplicate values. It will print only once, doesn't matter how many times this value is inserted here. So we cannot change it, it will always come once. Now I think last we have is dictionary. So let's say we have capital. Let's define capital, and in the capital we define India, Delhi. Okay, India and Delhi. Then we can have similar values where multiple values are used as key and value pairs. So, and since these are strings, we must define it in the quotes. So India capital is Delhi. Then we can have next Germany. Then we can have Germany's capital, Berlin. Then we can have UK, and UK's capital is London. Okay, so this becomes dictionary. We haven't printed it, so let's print capital. Print capital. So you can see all the capitals are printed. Now we can we print star? So it is not taking that. We cannot print capital, and here's the capital. In this list also we can add or modify. So dictionary can also be added or modified. So only tuple is something where we cannot make any changes. Rest all we can modify during the program. This part is done. Let's operator. Okay, operator is very easy. So let's define two variables. So let's say a equals to 10 and b equals to 3, and let's multiply. So first add it. So very easy, a into b. Print, sorry, 30. If I say a plus b, 13. A minus b, 7. So it is able to easily modify and make mathematical operations. So let's try divide also. So you would see 3.33 a divided by b. And if we want to check the remainder of the division, so let's try that. We can see 1 is the remainder. So this can also be done. If you want to check the exponential calculation, so 10 power to 3, that will be 10 into 10 into 10, and that will become 1000. So operators are very easy. You can see that's plus, minus, and that way it's very easy to handle. We don't have much difficulty in working with operators, and then we will start using it once we make some kind of program. Then we will start using it in more complex manner, or actually how to do it. Like we can take the values also from the user. All the time we don't need to define the variable and then make that. We can take the values from the user, and then we can do it multiplication. For that purpose we have to use functions. So if we, let's say we take value from the user, input, enter first number, and let's put some space here so that we can read it. And again for second one also we can say input second number, enter second number, and then after taking that we can say add A and B. But when we say add A and B, we need to define this function somewhere. So this add function has to be defined somewhere. So let's go to the top and let's define the function. So to define the function, we have to use the word def or define. So we say define add, and we have got two values which are passed as parameter. And yes, whenever we're defining it, we have to use quotes here, colon. The colon is important and indentation is important. So in Python, indentation is very important. When is something written inside the code, like we are defining a function, and whatever we come here, that will remain within the function, and that will remain only till we are making the indentation correctly. So let's say I have print A, print B, and then here we say print A. We should see some kind of error hopefully. So what it says, name A is not defined. Why it is not defined? Here it is defined, but here it is not defined. And the reason is that when we have defined it, put this line here, that is not part of function. And since that is not part of function, it is not going to be executed. And it will be treated something or a text which is outside the function, and that's why it doesn't have the value. Now let's go here and we say enter first number 4, second number 5. So we are able to easily print 4 and 5. And let's say we here make C equals to A plus B and print C. First number 5, second number 7. So now you would see that it is considering these two as a string, and when we are printing C, it is considering it as a string and it is concatenating them instead of adding them as number. Because if we don't define the specific type, then it would always be a string. And now if I try to do that, first number 6, second number 8, it says 68. Reason, this should also be int. Now you can see everything is converted to int, and that's why it is able to add it as a number instead of taking it as a string, which it was doing it earlier. So that's how we can define function. Now we can return this value also. So we can say return C. So whatever value has come in C, you can return from the function, and that value can again be used here. To add that value or to use that value here, so what we have to say, sum equals to A and B. So that value which is being returned here, that can be stored in sum, and then we can see print sum of A and B is, then here we have to put sum. Okay, again 7 9. Now again it says can only concatenate string not integer, which means we cannot print sum directly, and this has to be converted into a string. So now let's see 3 and 4. Sum of A and B is 7. Now it can easily work. So what we can see that we can call the function, we can define the function in the beginning, we can define what kind of parameters it is going to take. Indentation is very critical here, very important, and if indentation is correct, then everything will be considered within function. If something goes out like this one, this code has gone out, so since this is not within this will not be considered within the function, and then we can either perform the operation and do everything here itself, and we can return the value also. Once that value is returned, that value can be stored in the variable, and then we can print that value also if we save that value in variable. So we can print it also at some point of time. Okay, so this is what we learned about functions. Next we will be learning conditions, etc. But then for that we will have to wait for the next session. As of now, bye, take care. We will meet in the next session to take it further.